Philip Douthett, the men's marriage mentor here. I help men renew their failing marriages while creating a meaningful legacy. And if that's what you're looking to do, then you're definitely going to want to take notes on today's video. And if you found this information that you're going to learn today to be valuable, be sure to share this video and click the like and subscribe button so that you get the notifications of other videos that I release. Before we get into the video, be sure to stick around to the end where I reveal the details on how you can join me in my free training that walks you through how to renew your failing marriage by doing the right things at the right time in the right order, even if your situation feels completely hopeless right now. So be sure to stick around to the end for that announcement. And just so you know what to expect here, this video that you're about to watch was a training that I did inside of my private group that is directly related to the title of today's video. So get ready to take notes, then apply what you learn so that you can get the results that you desire. So with no further delay, let's get to it. All right, the question that I want to address this evening is from a guy here in the group. His name is Chris. He says, my wife says I wasn't there emotionally like I should have been and put my head in the sand for a couple of years just focusing on the day-to-day. Time out there for a second. What I refer to this, and I talk about this a little bit inside the program, and I have an email that goes out to anybody who joins my email list on this topic, and it's called the ostrich effect. And so if you know how ostriches think, I guess you could say, think or not think, depending on how you look at it. But ostriches, when they sense fear, they see fear, what they do is they stick their head in the sand and they're like, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist, or it can't see me. If I can't see it because my head's buried in the sand, then the danger cannot see me. And that's unfortunately how some men think about their situation. If I ignore it long enough, it'll go away, or it's not as bad as I think it is because I'm not taking the time to actually analyze it and look at it and feel it and sense it. So they just ignore the situation that they're going through with their wife or their business or whatever the case may be. And they think that if they ignore it long enough, it's just going to disappear. So I call that the ostrich effect. So be aware of that. This is what Chris is doing here in his question. He goes on and he says this. Then one day about 6 months ago, she told me that she was done. Since then, we have started marriage counseling and I started individual therapy. For the past 30 days, I have gotten the feeling, that's what he's trying to say, I've gotten the feeling like my wife is having an affair behind my back with a friend of mine. It finally came out the other day that it was true. She has apologized and stopped seeing him completely, but says it wasn't really an affair since she told me that she was done with the marriage, and if the situation was different financially, we would have been divorced at that time. Okay, there's several things that I want to address, but I'm going to keep going on with this comment. He says, but now she wants to work on the marriage again and make this work. I have forgiven her. He says, I have forgiven her, but I can't get it out of my mind that she had sex with another man. Please help. Okay, so there's several things I want to address, and then I'm going to talk about the emotional aspect of the marriage, or of the conversation. He says this. First of all, he was getting the feeling that he was having an affair with a friend of mine. Okay, so first of all, Chris, what kind of aura, I guess you could say, what are you putting out into the world to attract the type of people into your life that would allow your wife to have an affair with them and your wife to choose to have an affair with him? Like, that's not the kind of man I would ever want in my circle. That's not the kind of friend that I personally would ever allow into my life. So I'm asking you, Chris, why are you allowing this guy? You said with a friend of mine. Your words, not mine. I would not qualify this guy as a friend based on the fact that he is sleeping with your wife. That's not a friend. At least not a friend that I would categorize, me personally and professionally. That is not a friend. Okay? So I challenge you on your word usage there that a friend of mine. Now, since this came out, the affair has been made public, I guess you could say, to you at least. Maybe you have cut ties with this guy and he's no longer a friend. That's usually what happens in these situations. He's no longer a friend. He's now Someone in your past, a chapter in your book that has closed and you've moved on, right? And so I'm assuming that's where you are in the situation, right? He said it finally came out the other day. She apologized and stopped seeing him completely. Okay. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. But says it wasn't really an affair since she told me she was done with the marriage. Bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Straight up. You two are still married. You still have that piece of paper, that marriage certificate between you two. And for you to, and I understand this. I'm not blaming you, Chris, at all. Like I'm more or less blaming your wife for this, that she's not taking ownership for her decisions in this situation. But for her to say that it was not an affair because I told you, I said the words of this marriage is over, I don't want to be with you, or whatever she said. She said those words. Now all of a sudden, what, you get a free pass, you get a hall pass, you can just go bang whoever you want? Like, no, that's not how this works at all. Okay? So straight up bullshit on her part. Period, end of story. Like, that's just being raw. That's like man to man. That's not like professional, put on my men's marriage mentor hat. You know, that's like straight up man to man bullshit. Just like you calling the other guy a friend. I'm assuming you're no longer friends with this guy. That's straight up bullshit too. Like, a friend doesn't bang his wife, you know, just and then pretends like everything's okay. Like that's just not okay. At least not in my book. And like you said later in your post here, Chris, you said that, yes, I have forgiven her. Okay. But you didn't make any point about this other guy. So maybe you've forgiven him as well. But what you do now is what's important. What do you do after this point? It's not always something to focus on in the past. Like what are you focusing on in the past? Does that really matter? Okay. What are you doing now in the present to impact the future? So yes, you say that you've forgiven, but what are you doing now, right now, in the present, to impact the future moving forward? That's what's most important. Okay. So you also stated that if the situation was different financially, you would have been divorced at that time. Okay. So I'm going to challenge that, because what I see, and this is going to be really fucking brutal. Okay. What I see is people who, how do I say this really delicately without sounding like an asshole? I got to be careful here. How do I say this delicately? People who are not, and this goes for male or female, that's why I'm using the word people. People who are not well educated, should I say? I don't know if that's the right word usage. People who are not, who do not hold themselves at a high standard, people who do not hold themselves at a high standard of personal value, people who do not carry themselves well, people who do not have passions and excitement in life, people who do not have a purpose, like they feel like they have a sole purpose for their life, people who are just going through the motions without really living their life. They're just going through the motions. They're existing, but they're not living, feeling, experiencing life. Those type of people who are just floating through life, I've noticed, will say shit like you have said, Chris, like, well, it wasn't really an affair because I told you I was done with this marriage. Like, that's not an excuse. So I want you, Chris, to look at yourself. And I know your wife probably won't do this, but Chris, I want you to step back and look at yourself. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, like, where are you in the idea of holding yourself to higher standards? Are you carrying yourself well? Do you present yourself well? Are you a man of moral integrity and value and allowing the world to push you around? Or are you, like I said, holding yourself at a high standard of personal value and telling the world, like, look, respect me or get out of my life. Value me or get out of my life. Okay. So here's the thing. Me personally, I will trust people until you give me a reason to not trust you. And that's me holding myself to a higher value, because when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to hold my word. My word is my bond. It's as good as gold. right? And I encourage you, Chris, and anyone else listening, to hold yourself in those types of standards so that you also attract people of value, people of moral integrity, people of high standards and ethics into your life as well. And I promise you that when you do this, the quality, if you will, for lack of better terms, the quality of people into your life will improve. And guess what? The other way is true as well. The people who do not carry themselves with high standards of value, of trust, of integrity, of morals, those people will look at you and they're going to say, oh, this guy's not like me. He's better than me. He thinks he's better than me, which is usually the comment that I hear from people, which is fine. I don't care. Because if you think that I'm better than you, then fine. That's your own thoughts. That's your opinion. That's your issue. Fuck off. I don't really care. That's you. That's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. You're a free American. Congratulations. Right? And I promise you, those type of people will just fizzle out of your life. And guess what? When you do that, the quality of your relationships improve. The value that you carry for yourself will improve. The way that you carry yourself and conduct yourself personally, professionally, financially, as a parent, whatever, will improve. The standard overall quality of your life will improve. I promise you, it will improve. When you carry yourself at a much higher value, you look at yourself as a higher value, moral, ethical individual. All of that to say this here, that if your wife is not valuing herself, she's not trusting you with her heart and soul. That's the lack of emotional support that I'm getting at. And so for her to say that if, we were just doing better financially, we would be divorced. Guess what? Finances are bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Every time. Here's the thing. I have found this so true over the years. I have had my services available for $99. I had my services available for $899. Like fucking cheap as hell. Nothing compared to the cost of lawyers and divorce court and filing fees and mediation. Like tens of thousands of dollars you could spend on a divorce. Good luck to you, right? Like my services to renew your marriage and improve yourself as a man, husband, and father are dirt cheap. And I've figured this out over and over and over and over and over and over and fucking over every year after year after that I've been doing this, that finances are not the problem. They are an excuse. A fucking excuse for where you are. Okay? And if you hold yourself at a higher value of a man of morals, a man of integrity, which means you're going to follow through on your commitments and do what you say you're going to do, just like I did with this transaction with this vehicle with John earlier today, and attract the type of people into your life that are filled with morals themselves, because people will flock to other people who are like themselves. We've all heard this before. It's basic human psychology. People like others who are like themselves. They want to be with others who are like themselves. So if you hold yourself at a higher value, you're going to attract other people like that, right? So I'm challenging you, Chris, here. Raise your morals and your standards, your quality of life, your ethics, your morals, raise them. See yourself as a more valuable individual. And your wife will want to, she'll, I got to be careful how I phrase this because I don't want to give too much away, but she will want to trust you. Put it that way. I'm just going to keep it really simple and basic. Your wife, this goes for everybody. Your wife will want to trust you because she sees the value of who you are as a man, as a husband, and as a father. If I say I'm going to do it, I fucking do it. Every time. Why? Because if I don't, I can't look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, good job, Phil. No, I can't do that. I can look myself in the mirror. I can smile, keep my chest out, and be like, boom, fist bump, fist bump myself in a sense and say, good job, Phil. You followed through on your commitments. You did what you said you were going to do. You're a man of your word. The people who are not like that, the scum of the earth, sometimes won't want to be around you because I make them feel unimportant or whatever. That's fine. That's their decision to feel that way. It's not me. I don't care. That's their decision. And so I can look at myself and I say, good job, Phil. And I encourage you guys to do the same, because that's what's going to keep you pushing forward in this whole process of renewing your marriage. And it is a process. And the process of renewing a marriage is not something we're taught in school. It's not something that you can just pick up a book and read about one day. There's a process to it that is not common knowledge. Down below Chris's post, there's a guy named Aaron, and he posted this. If she cheats one time, she'll do it again no matter how good or bad she's treated. Been there, done that, and got a t-shirt. Again, this is a comment by this Aaron guy that is filled with bitterness, anger, and resentment. If she cheats one time, she'll do it again no matter how good or bad she's treated. Bullshit. I want you to take a look in the mirror here, guys, and I want you to ask yourself, what type of woman are you attracting? What type of people are you attracting into your life? The scum of the earth, fuck them. I don't have time for them. I don't want to deal with them. Is that cold-hearted? Sure, fine. However you want to define it. However you define it, that's up to you. I don't really care. That is your choice to fit me into that category. If you choose to, that's fine. That's your decision. I just don't want to. Because I'd rather deal with people, surround myself with people who are worthy of my valuable time. Because my time is valuable. Is yours? We only get one shot at life. Let's have some fun. Let's live it. Let's spend time with people who will challenge you in a positive, loving way. My wife challenges the shit out of me, and I love it. I love her for it. She challenges me. Challenges me to do better, be better, become better, act better, say things better. That's value to me. Does your wife do the same? Or do you have the perspective that your wife challenging you to be better is nagging? Again, that's a decision as to how you look at the situation. Because if you perceive her saying and telling you and inferring to you that you need to improve aspects of your life as nagging, that detrimental perspective in which you have of her is going to damage the situation that you are in within your life, within your marriage, I should say. So you have to take a step back and look at the situation and have the perspective to sit back, reanalyze the situation with a clear thought process. And I'm going to up that ante up a little bit more and say, with a clear thought process filled with morals of value and integrity, so that you have an outcome, or at least a potential outcome within your mind as to what you can achieve in that situation. Okay. But if this Aaron guy here has the perspective of once she cheats, she'll do it again no matter how she's treated, fuck you. Fuck you, Aaron. Seriously. Like, your attitude is what will fucking destroy your life and your marriage. Guaranteed. Without doubt. That bitterness, that anger, that resentment, that piss poor perspective will destroy your life. Am I saying, oh, you've got to be all happy and think positively and manifest the world and all that happy bullshit? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Is there some truth to that? Yes, there is. Because I've experimented with that in my life. And yes, the things that I have thought positively on or tried to manifest within my own life, I've been able to do that. So there is some truth to that. But when you have the perspective of wanting to manifest positive, loving, valuable things within your life, you start to think in a perspective in a way that will drive you to think of things and accomplish things and do things that will get you those results. But if you attract the people into your life that will always cheat on you, no matter how good she has it or bad she has it, I want you to just take a step back and look at yourself and say, are you having the perspective within your life that attracts the type of women into your life where this has become true over and over and over again? It's just rinse and repeat with a different pussy. Literally. That's all it is. But ask yourself, are you willing to make the shifts within your life to have a better perspective, thought process, higher morals and value within your life so that you attract the types of people, male, female, professionally, personally, whatever, into your life that challenge you to raise your standards? And guess what? I'm not going to give away too much, but that is a huge part of finding happiness in life. That challenge. That's huge in finding happiness in life. It is. What does it mean if your wife says that you're not there emotionally for her? You don't fulfill her emotional needs, or however she phrases it. So I pulled up a couple things online because I wanted to read this. And so I'm going to read this out loud to you guys. Here's the second word really, really triggered me. It says, in meaningful relationships. That's meaningful. Such a powerful word. In meaningful relationships, emotional support is offered from both individuals and brings them closer to each other. It helps you to establish a foundation for your future together. The practice of offering emotional support provides a foundation for being able to resolve conflict kindly, see your partner from a place of reality, and attach securely to one another. Bingo. For those of you who follow me, maybe you know my tagline. What's my tagline? My tagline, Philip, the men's marriage mentor, helping men renew their failing marriage while creating a meaningful legacy. Same word, meaningful. Okay, here's the thing. You cannot compartmentalize your marriage and expect you to just work on the marriage and not have it impact any other aspect of your life. You're an idiot if you think that. Guaranteed. Like, I'll call you an idiot to your face. Like, that's bullshit. You cannot work on just your marriage and not the rest of your life, like other aspects of your life, whether it's your business, whether it's your career, whether it's your parenting, whether it's, whatever. It doesn't matter. Your marriage is the hub of everything that goes on within your life, right? And so if your marriage is not solid, secure, loving, respectful, bonded, fill in the blank, then every other aspect of your life will be adversely impacted. Okay. And so that's why I say helping men renew their failing marriage while creating a meaningful legacy. They go hand in hand, right? That's why I talk about renewing yourself as a man, husband, and father, not just husband. Okay. Because it impacts every other aspect of your life. And so in meaningful relationships, that's such a key word here. In meaningful relationships, emotional support is offered from both individuals, not one, from both individuals, and brings them closer to each other. And what is the glue that brings both individuals closer to each other when offering emotional support? What is the glue? I'll give you a hint. Starts with a T. Trust. Okay? Trust. Trust is the glue. Trust is the glue that brings two individuals closer to each other, because when you have trust in the marriage, and yes, you can renew a marriage, and part of renewing a marriage is through trust. It is an aspect of renewal process, and I do talk about that inside the program in great detail, and how to do it as well. Not just that you have to do it, but how to do it. That's very important. Emotional support is offered from both individuals and brings them closer together, and the glue is trust. All right. So here's the thing. If your wife does not trust you because you don't carry yourself as a man of morals, ethical value, integrity, etc., you don't raise your personal standards, your wife will not respect you. She will not trust you. She will not offer the support to you in what you're going through in life because she doesn't want to connect with you. And guess what? The opposite is true as well. She doesn't trust you, so she's not going to give herself to you. So you think, and this is what I commonly see with men. Men think that, everything's okay. Everything is fine. Just like Chris was saying earlier in his post. And then one day, about 6 months ago, she told me she was done. Guess what? Your wife has felt this for a long time, but you, sir, have been blind to the whole situation. You're just going around like an ostrich with your head in the sand, thinking that everything's okay, when all along your wife does not trust you to offer you emotional support. And because you don't get emotional support yourself from her, you're not connected to the point that you trust one another, and therefore you think everything's okay because you're blind to it. So you don't offer her emotional support, and she feels that lack of emotional support herself. And so because she feels that lack of emotional support, she gets bitter, she gets angry, and then one day just boom, it just hits the wall. And she's like, I'm done. I'm out. Fuck you. I'm going to go bang some other guy because maybe there I can find some support. Okay, first of all, it's a very immature thing to do, by the way. And you shoot yourself in the foot. But it starts with you. It starts with you as the husband to lead in another direction. You have to build that emotional support between you two, and it starts with trust. And what else does this post say this article say that I found? It says emotional support helps with the establishment. It helps with establishing a foundation for a future together. That's true. How did you, as a dating couple in the clinical psychology world, it is referred to as courting. When you two were courting one another, you were dating. How did you build that emotional support? Did you at all? How did you get through those challenges? Or were you blind to the fact that you didn't? Guilty. This ring right here on my finger may not still be here this day if I hadn't figured that out years ago. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of not being there for my wife emotionally when we were dating. And we got married without that bond between us to build a future together. My fault. But because I had the self-awareness and the situation that I went through with my wife many years ago, I had that wake-up call, and I had to figure out what to do to renew myself as a man, husband, and father, and I did. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. It was painful. It sucked. God, it sucked. But I had a lot of wins along the way. I had some setbacks along the way. And thankfully, my wife was patient with me as I figured it out. Some women are not patient. Some women will say, I'm done, I'm out. Then they do things like Chris was saying, went and cheated. Did my wife ever cheat? No. Did I ever cheat? No. Could have. Still can, but won't. Why? Because we have established the trust and the emotional support with one another. Can it be done? Absolutely. Especially when a marriage, or even if a marriage is under strain, it can still be renewed, and that emotional support between the couple, between one another, can be established, and it can effectively aid in the renewal process of the marriage. If you do it correctly, if you do it at the right time. You cannot put the carriage before the horse. You're screwed up if you do. Promise you that. What else does this article say? I want to expand on it a little bit more, and then we'll call it a night. It says that additionally, the practice of offering emotional support provides a foundation for being able to resolve conflict kindly, see your partner from a place of reality. God, that's such a key word there. I love that. And attach securely to one another. And so trust builds the emotional support, and the emotional support does lead to securing the bond between you and your wife. And then it says, see your partner from a place of reality. God, I love that. It's so well put, how perspective, mindset is so important. Here's the thing. I'm going to repeat myself from last week. Perspective is not reality. That is absolute bullshit. I will argue with anyone till the ends of the earth. Perspective is not reality. Straight up bullshit. Okay? What's reality? One word. Reality. Like, reality is reality, not perspective. Your perspective is so jarred, or I should say it can be so jarred. It can be skewed. It can be bitter. It can be angry. It can be, whatever. To the point that it's acting as an adverse filter as you work your way through analyzing a situation. But if that bitterness, the anger, that resentment that you're feeling, that adverse mindset, perspective, is hindering you from seeing past the situation to find a mutual or positive outcome, then you're hurting yourself because you're not in a mindset that is filled with the reality of the situation. But your perspective is skewing your so-called reality and hindering you from making positive, beneficial, loving decisions that impact the outcome. If you have the perspective and the mindset, hold yourself to a higher value, to the point where you can step back and honestly and meaningfully inspect and analyze the situation from a mindset that will lead to maybe not the best outcome, but a real, raw, genuine outcome that is honest, that will help you to see your partner from a place of reality when you do that. Very powerful words. I love what it's saying. All right, backing up one more, and then we're going to wrap it up. It says it provides the foundation for being able to resolve conflict kindly. Should every conflict be resolved kindly? I would challenge you to think about that. Answer that question yourself. Should every conflict be resolved kindly? I would say no. In marriage, yes. In war, in times of war, no. As fucked up as it sounds, there is a time and a place for violence. This, in a marriage, not that time. Resolve conflict kindly. Can be done, but I'm going to challenge the word kindly. I feel personally and professionally that it should be more respectfully, would be a better word. Resolve conflict respectfully. I talk about how to resolve conflict, how to argue effectively. That's the words that I use inside the Men's Marriage Mastery program. It's very powerful because what I'm referring to there is leading to an outcome that is not necessarily always beneficial for both of you, but leading to an outcome in which you both can agree upon, even if it means you are getting the short end of the deal. But you have to analyze the situation from a mindset of, like I said before, higher value, ethics, moral ethics, higher integrity within yourself. I'm fumbling over my words there, but you know what I mean. When you look at yourself from that perspective, you will, I promise you, be able to argue effectively, resolve conflict respectfully, reading this, in a way that will lead to an outcome that is beneficial for the two of you. But if there's no trust, there's no emotional support there, you're going to turn right into this Aaron guy who posted below Chris's post that says, once she cheats, she'll do it again no matter how good or bad she's treated. Like I said, your perspective will fuck you over in this situation over and over again, Aaron. Just a different woman, same situation. Guaranteed. All because that is the way you carry yourself. That is the way you present yourself. That is the type of people that you attract into your life. And because you're doing that, man, you're setting yourself up for more anger, more bitterness, more, dare I say, failure. But if you shift your perspective a little bit, hell, not even a little bit, a lot, carry yourself in a different manner, you'll attract a different type of woman in your life. Maybe it's the same woman, but it's going to draw out different actions, different thought processes from her. It's going to challenge her in a good way, just like my wife challenges me in a good way. We challenge each other in a good way. It should, if you do it correctly, challenge her to a point where she will want to step up her game. Her morals will rise. Her value as an individual will rise as well. And the way she carries herself, presents herself, will be of better moral, ethical value to the relationship and to the world. As a man, husband, and father, as a mother, as a businesswoman, as a sister, for your wife, like, she will want to be with you because she is seeing the value in which you have for yourself, and she'll want to be part of it. Or she won't. If she doesn't, ask yourself, is she the right fit for you? Just ask yourself that. I don't know. But for you to say, if she cheats on you one time, she'll do it again over and over, bullshit. Can a marriage be resolved after an affair? Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Guaranteed. Promise you that. Will it happen in every marriage? No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, when I say 100% guaranteed, can it be done? Yes, it can be done. Will it be resolved for every marriage? No. But analyze yourself and the way you carry yourself and who you are, and decide whether or not the type of man, husband, and father you are is someone that will attract the type of woman that will challenge you positively, a woman that will want to be with you, okay, because it's her choice to be with you or not, and a woman that will be, boy, it's powerful, the mother of your children. Think about that. I just covered a lot of great information that will help you to renew both yourself and your marriage. And I hope that you put everything that you just learned into practice, because that's the only way that you're going to get results. But There is so much more that you can do, and I'm going to cover all of that in my free training that walks you through how to renew your marriage, even if your wife has told you that there's nothing that you can do to change her mind. So if you'd like to learn the specific strategies and methods that thousands of my clients have used and continue to use to renew their failing marriages and create a meaningful legacy, then click the link below, watch that free training, and then feel free to submit an application after that. Also, be sure to click the link to access my private Facebook group where you can get support and connect and even learn from a community of men who are also struggling to keep their failing marriages together. And when you join, I'll even send you a free copy of my latest ebook. And if you like what you heard today and you want more content like this from me, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to comment below with any questions or tell me whatever it is that you found to be the most helpful. And like I mentioned before, click the link below for that free training that I mentioned earlier. I'm Douthett, the Men's Marriage Mentor, and I'll see you on the next video.